So we talked about how we took the cast. We used the dummy. And we used the slot insert. So what we need to do now is make sure that the dummy is inside. Make sure that the slot is located correctly and put your insert in. Now we're ready to fill it. So I went ahead and I extended the top up with this plastic wrap, and I also made sure that it's sealed over here, just to make sure that the plaster doesn't come out. So I'm ready to fill it. One of the things we want to do is make sure that the dummy can come out, so we'll just use some silicone spray just to make sure that the plaster won't stick. Okay, so now that we filled the cast, we want to take the cast off. We need to cut it so we can remove the cast off and keep the dummy in place. Make sure the dummy doesn't move so we can preserve the location and the integrity of where it is. So we want to make sure that we cut this open enough, but we don't want to damage the dummy. So I like to use a screwdriver, pry it open enough so I could just lightly cut this open. From here up, we could do our normal modification. From here down, we don't want to make it too tight. Otherwise, when they go in, they won't click on the maglock. Clean this up and then check my measurements. What if the angle is not where I like it to be? Well, we could remove the dummy. And we'll get a nice flat spot. So depending on which way you want to angle the dummy, say for example in this case we want to angle it more this way, we want to keep this the high point, and that way when we put the dummy back on we have the height, but we could just offset it with the angle. So I'll show you how you could do this. We'll check the midline. So this way it looks okay. It's pretty straight. This way, if we look at it, it might be angled a little bit. So we might want to angle it just a little bit. So what we could do from here, and then we're going to need to also angle this part as well. So this part down. We want to take it down probably about 1/8 of an inch. We know this is going to be our line that we want to get it level with. So we make this the midpoint here. So this we want on top. So now we'll just check the fit on it. Here's the upper part. So you can see how now it's angled. It's a little straighter now. So now all I have to do is fill this in, smoothen it out, do our modifications that we want to do, and then we're ready to pull the check socket. Here we have our cleaned up cast. I just basically cleaned this up, checked my measurements versus the measurements I took. I drew my trim line. I went ahead and modified up here as I normally would. So you can see I did my normal modification, normal reduction up here, and down here I smoothened it basically to my measurements, maybe a slight undersize but not a lot. I blended it all in, made sure that there were no undercuts, and now we're ready to go ahead and pull the check socket.